The movie opened by a man named Jeff Bauman. He is an employee at a supermarket. He is also a fan of a baseball club called the Red Sox. He and his family often watched baseball games together at a bar. At the bar he meets Erin, his ex-girlfriend. Jeff still loves Erin at that time. Erin was collecting donations because she was going to run the marathon in Boston to get his ex's attention. Jeff helps Erin raise donations. This young lady here is running the marathon. Applause. When Erin was about to go home, Jeff chased after her. He asked if he could support her in the marathon. Jeff promised to wait for her at the finish line. In fact, the marathon coincided with the schedule of the Red Sox match. Erin looked doubtful that Jeff would come because of his habit of being late and breaking promises. Before leaving, Jeff made a poster to support Erin. Patty, his alcoholic mother, can't understand why Jeff keeps trying to get Erin back. The marathon was attended by 27,000 participants. Jeff got ready to support Erin and tried to wait for her at the finish line. In the crowd, Jeff is run over by someone. This distracted him. Not long after that, in the supporter area, there were 2 explosions on the side of the road. Unfortunately, one of the victims who suffered serious injuries was Jeff Bauman. It happened near Jeff and he had to lose both his legs. Erin, who survived, immediately contacted her family using a phone in a bar. At that time, she also saw Jeff on TV and became the news headlines. Patty also gets a call informing about the incident. Long story short, Jeff's family flocked to the hospital. The doctor called Jeff's parents. The doctor explained that Jeff was still alive, but he was bleeding and both his legs had to be amputated. The bomb exploded under his feet and it shattered most of his legs. Erin came to the hospital in a panic. She wanted to see Jeff's condition. After seeing the doctor, Patty saw her son's condition. She was crying and couldn't believe what had just happened to her son. News of the incident aired everywhere. According to the news, the bomb contained gunpowder. It was put into a pot filled with nails, bullets, and iron balls to magnify the damage. Charlie, Jeff's manager, came to the hospital, but Jeff's father thought he was a reporter who wanted to interview Charlie. Came to tell them that Jeff would still be working with him. Also, he will provide insurance documents to cover the entire hospital bill. When Big D looked after Jeff, Jeff finally woke up. Big D told Jeff that he had lost his leg. Then Big D realized that Jeff had something to say. He took out a paper and a pen. First, Jeff asked if Erin was okay. Later, he told that he had seen the bomber. Big D immediately woke his uncle and ran to call the FBI. Meanwhile, Patty and the others, including Erin, meet Jeff. With such conditions, Jeff still cares and loves his ex-girlfriend. After that, FBI agents came to draw a sketch of the bomber's face based on Jeff's description. A few days later, news broke that there were 2 perpetrators of the bombing. They are siblings. The older brother was shot dead by the police. Therefore, Jeff's family was satisfied to hear the news. Meanwhile, Patty and Erin's relationship doesn't seem so good. Patty openly shows that she doesn't like Erin. On the other hand, Erin is very sad about what happened to Jeff. She didn't know what to do. She was still frustrated with his fate. When she was still dating Jeff, she had gotten used to Jeff being late or not coming at all because he preferred to stay home or watch baseball games. But that time he arrived just in time, and bad luck before him. Days keep changing. Jeff's photo appeared on the front page of the newspaper and it was written that Jeff had identified the suspects and reported it to the FBI. Jeff became a local hero at that time. The second suspect was eventually caught. Meanwhile, Jeff is still battling the pain in his leg, especially when the nurses changed his bandage. Fortunately, Erin always stays there to accompany Jeff through his difficult times. Jeff said that Erin should see the poster he made to support her. Hearing that, Erin burst into tears and she apologized for this tragedy. 6 weeks later, Jeff was discharged from the hospital. He was greeted as a hero for successfully helping the FBI and the police to catch the bomber. Even when on the road, the community joined in welcoming Jeff to support him. Music: Boston Strong, Bauman Strong. That was written on the large banner. At home, Jeff was greeted by his family and his close friends. They tell Jeff that now he is a symbol of power and the world's attention. The house was also filled with packages delivered to Jeff. Patty invites people to party and drink beer as if he didn't care about it all. Jeff asked Erin to help him to the bathroom because he hasn't cleaned himself since he was hospitalized. Jeff was still processing everything that happened to him. The next day was Patty and his aunt. Jeff was taken to the hospital for a physical therapy session. Jeff was greeted by the reporters who covered him. He was also seen on TV. In fact, Erin also watched the news at the hospital where she worked. When he got home, Patty told Jeff that news like this could do something for him, and this will make you face the day easier, so he can adapt and be able to walk again. Jeff was taken somewhere. There the officers made prints of Jeff's feet. They're making a prosthetic leg for him. When he got home, when he was in the toilet, he overheard his busy family discussing an invitation for him. Jeff was invited to fly the flag at a sporting event. He felt his family, especially his mother, seemed to be taking advantage of his condition. They were excited about the VIP seats and also the free food. Jeff called Erin and talked about it. He asked Erin to accompany him to raise the flag. Previously, Jeff apologized for asking Erin this. Moreover, they no longer have any status. But Jeff admits that he couldn't have done it without her. Jeff and his family, including Erin, came to the match. Jeff's family enjoyed this moment more than Jeff himself. When going down, Erin realized that Jeff was nervous. Erin said that they would just wave the flag for a while then leave. Applause. Shouts of support from the people were heard in the arena, but what Jeff felt was a trauma. He still remembers the screams of the people when the tragedy of the bombing occurred in the elevator when no one else saw him. But Erin, Jeff vented his emotions. Go help somebody else. At home, Erin told Jeff to tell his family about his feelings. Erin asked Jeff to say that he was still traumatized and didn't need things like this. That night, Erin stayed over to accompany Jeff, and they came back together. A few weeks later, Jeff's prosthetic leg was finished. Before using it, he had to work his core muscles to help him stand up and regain his balance. Jeff invited Erin to move to his place. Erin also agreed. She wanted to always accompany Jeff for therapy. One day, Jeff's family was having a small party. At that time, Erin said that she would move into Jeff's apartment. Hearing this, Patty felt displeased. She said their apartment was too small for 3 people, but Jeff said their apartment might fit for 2.5 people. Yeah, technically it's only like 2.5. Then Patty announced a big news. She said that Oprah Winfrey would come to interview Jeff. The news was greeted with joy by other family members. They still think it's a great thing because they can meet celebrities, and nowadays Jeff is a person who is famous all over the world. Jeff didn't say what he wanted, but Erin immediately told Patty that Jeff would never do this again. He doesn't want to appear in public because of the great pressure, and it's not good for his psychology. Nowadays people come to Jeff just to ask questions and want something. Patty didn't care what Erin said. She asked Jeff to talk. Jeff felt disappointed with his mother because she never asks his approval first. But Patty reasons that she just wants people to see how amazing her son is, but without hurting his mother's feelings. Jeff apologized and refused to appear again in public. Another day, Erin and Patty take Jeff to therapy. At that time, Patty asked Jeff to meet with Carlos, a person who saved Jeff. According to Patty, they should meet. Patty thinks a meeting between Jeff and his savior will be a news, but again Jeff refused because he didn't want to remember the worst things in his life. Patty was still figuring out what Jeff had to do, while Erin thought that Jeff should prioritize his time and energy on physical therapy and rehabilitation sessions. One night while returning to the apartment, Erin finds Patty asleep on the sofa while Jeff was asleep on the toilet covered in his own feces. Turns out Patty and Jeff had been drinking Erin was annoyed because she had to clean it. The next day Erin and Patty took Jeff for a therapy session. In the car Patty talks about Jeff being asked to attend a game of the Red Sox, his favorite baseball team. Patty said that Jeff's presence would not make the Red Sox win. They argued about it. When starting therapy was his prosthetic, Erin seemed to pay attention to how Jeff was feeling. Instead, Patty was just busy recording with her cell phone and making this content. When going home, Patty and Erin argued. Erin is sick of being thought of as stupid and always being blamed. In fact, this time Jeff knew Erin had always supported him, and Patty was just taking advantage of his current state. Erin finally vented the annoyance she had been holding back for so long. Then she left Jeff and Patty. You just opened your eyes for one huge circle. Look at me, wasted and covered in his own. I'll say one more thing about Amesbury. Patty, I'll play go get in the car. She told her sister about it and said that she couldn't leave Jeff because at this time Erin was 5 weeks pregnant. She hadn't found the right time yet, and she planned to tell Jeff about it tonight. Jeff repeated his old habit. He didn't come when he had an appointment with Erin at a cafe. He instead enjoys drinking with his family at a bar. What's more, he got into a fight with the employees there. The whole thing. Finally, Erin picked up Jeff in the car. Erin tells Jeff that she is pregnant, but Jeff's response didn't match Erin's expectations. He felt unprepared for this. He wasn't ready to raise a child in this condition. He thinks that he will mess everything up. Erin said that was true. Jeff is going to screw things up, but not because he has no legs, but because of his childish attitude. In fact, Erin had left her family and worked just for Jeff. She didn't want to abort the baby. Jeff got emotional and reminded Erin that he had come for her and was standing there until he had his fate as it is now. Jeff said again that he couldn't do this. Hearing this, Erin left him alone. Jeff had to crawl back to his apartment. Music. Meanwhile, Erin packed her things to go back to her house. Jeff wasn't a jerk, but maybe it's too soon for him. In the midst of his unstable psychological condition since the terrible tragedy occurred, one day Jeff meets Carlos, the person who saved him. Jeff always avoided meeting him. Carlos is neither a marathon runner nor a supporter. He is a father who lost his 2 children. His first son was a soldier who died on the battlefield. He said that when the soldiers brought his son home, Carlos was frustrated and wanted to burn himself. But a soldier saved him from that stupidity, and he finally showed up at his son's funeral while his second son committed suicide because he lost his brother and could not stand to see his father like that. During the Boston Marathon, Carlos was there to give the American flag to his friends. When the first bomb exploded, his heart immediately moved to run towards the fire, and there Carlos saw Jeff. Saving Jeff makes Carlos feel like he's saving his own son, and Carlos was grateful for that. According to Carlos, Jeff had helped him as much as he had helped Jeff. For that, Carlos thanked Jeff. Music. Because of that emotional conversation, Jeff regained his purpose in life. From then on, he tried to attend physical therapy sessions alone without Patty and Erin. Jeff tried not only for himself, but also for Erin and their future child. Jeff left Erin a message. He apologized for his childish behavior. He also said that he would try to get up again, so he can show others in the world that he is okay. Another day, Carlos appears with Jeff at a baseball game. Jeff is there to open the match, which will be followed by his favorite team, the Red Sox. Jeff was warmly welcomed by thousands of fans who were there. Jeff looks great, and from the house, Erin could see that there was a change in Jeff. Applause. As Jeff headed to the car, someone ran to stop him. He said that his younger brother was a soldier and he had died from being shot. When he saw Jeff's photo after the bombing incident, this man thought of his brother. He was so angry with what happened, but after seeing Jeff perform on the field, he felt better, and he thanked Jeff for that. They shake hands with each other. Jeff didn't think that such a small thing could make other people feel better. Jeff taught them all to be strong. Another day Patty came to deal with the situation. After Jeff informed that Erin was pregnant, Patty began to change her drinking habits. That afternoon Jeff struggled alone to walk with his prosthetic leg. He walked towards Erin, who was waiting for him at a cafe. Finally, Jeff could act like a man who could accept his current situation. He will always be strong to be a good husband and also a father. Jeff is an inspiration to everyone that whatever we are facing, we must stay strong. In 2013, the Red Sox won the World Championship and Jeff participated in it. On July 13, 2014, their daughter Nora Gale Bauman was born into the world in 2016. 3 years after the tragedy, Erin managed to cross the finish line in a marathon race, and Jeff fulfilled his promise to wait for her at the finish line. Whatever problems we face, remember that we are strong and we are great. We can get through it all. If you enjoy this video, please like and share.